Hi, my name's Tom, and I have something called ADHD. Now, my whole life, I have really struggled to define what exactly that means, and what you're about to watch is me figuring that out. These are 4 short films that highlight different aspects of ADHD and what it's kind of like to live with ADHD, and I really hope you enjoy. For those who don't know, I think it's really important to define what ADHD actually is. ADHD is an acronym standing for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. Though I wouldn't say that's entirely accurate, since it's not that people with ADHD have a deficit of attention, it's more like they have an abundance of attention. Let me show you what that looks like. I'll even use myself as an example. Let's say I'm in a park and I notice a creaking sound that comes from a swing set. I also notice that there's a child crying because they fell off a slide. I hear a dog barking at a squirrel while their owner talks on the phone, and I might wonder what their owner's talking about. After that, I'll notice an old couple on a bench arguing over something silly, and I wonder how long they've been together. I also notice the wind is moving through the grass, and I have to think to myself, how does wind even work? I also see someone on another bench reading a book. A group of bikers are riding through a path. Some joggers are riding the same path, but in the opposite direction. A few people are eating their lunch outside. I notice all this because I have an abundance of attention. I notice everything at once, even if I don't want to. And most of the time, I don't want to. My abundance of attention is something that becomes difficult to control, but to the world around me that doesn't see anything through my eyes, has only understood this abundance as a deficit. The issue isn't being unable to pay attention. It's that I'm indebted to attention. Being nervous is something that is extremely natural. I constantly feel nervous. I deal with this nervousness in a very physical sense. And it often becomes difficult to contain that nervousness into just one area of myself. The most concentrated area of my nervousness is always going to be in my hands. Things I do are cracking my knuckles, playing with my fingers, grabbing them, interlocking them, rubbing them together, tapping them, squeezing them, exploring them. When I was younger, I would obsess over them. I would rip any loose skin off that was around my fingers. And if I had blisters that I'd gained from playing the drums, I would peel them until they were exposed, pink and painful. I would dig into my nails, ripping them off until they looked mangled and withered. And honestly, if I lost my fingers, I don't know what I would do, but I know that I would still be very nervous. Thinking is a constant process for me. I've lost sleep by thinking. I can't stop thinking. I have so many thoughts crammed into my head that some of them just end up getting broken. These broken thoughts are often confusing and upsetting, as it becomes my responsibility to put them back together. While some pieces are larger and easy to identify, other pieces are beyond recognizing. There are often these smaller pieces, finer details. Sometimes I can't even find those pieces, so placing them back becomes truly impossible, and so I have to kind of settle for incomplete thoughts. Though that's kind of the beauty of it. I mean, if all thoughts are incomplete in my head, it basically just means that incomplete is my version of complete. And I guess that's just what makes sense to me now. For those with ADHD, there are 3 times in every day: now, almost now, and not now. If someone with ADHD is given a task that isn't meant to be finished now, then the time that they exist in is not now. Not now is a very comfortable time. It's very easy to live in, but there's some sense of anxiety that comes with it as almost now creeps up on you. The arrival of almost now is best described as impending, because once you transition from not now to almost now, you're going to panic. The task that up until this point was not now is now almost now, and it has to be done before almost now transitions into now. Almost now is a period of dread, misery, terror, panic, and trepidation. Almost now may be the worst that you will ever feel. Almost now is a time you will hate yourself, because you had all of that time in not now to do what you now have to do in almost now. And almost now is something that can be avoided, right? But it's difficult to gauge when almost now is going to even kick in, as it's this fluctuating period of time. It's not set. But let's ask ourselves this: if almost now is so terrible and so miserable, then what does now feel like? Now is empty. Now is a sense of relief, because almost now is over. There's nothing you can quite do in now, because it is now. And before you know it, it's once again not now.